Hi, everybody. Welcome tonight. Happy International Women's Day. I'm really glad that you're here. I'm Karen Strang Allen, a love and empowerment coach for women. I'm the founder of the Empowered Single Women Facebook group and also the founder of Empower Academy. So I'm really excited to be here with you tonight and to talk about how to be empowered. I want to just start off by saying how inspired I am by you, by your courage and your resilience and your strength and your willingness to overcome challenges and difficult circumstances and to be your best self. And I'm really grateful that you're a part of my community and that you're trusting me in order to learn more about how to empower yourself. So I want to start off by talking about International Women's Day and what it's all about. So it was founded in 1911, and this day has really become an important worldwide celebration that acknowledges women's cultural, economic, political, and social accomplishments. And it aims to really advance gender equality around the globe. So the UN defines International Women's Day as a time to reflect on progress, to call for change and celebrate acts of courage and determination by ordinary women who have played an extraordinary role in the history of their countries and their communities. So this year's theme is break the bias. Whether it's deliberate or whether it's unconscious, bias makes it really difficult for women to get ahead. Of the 1.3 billion people in the world who are living in states of poverty, 70% of those are women. And women produce between 50 to 80% of the world's food, according to the UN, but own less than 10% of the land. Furthermore, according to a Forbes study, 73% of women experience bias at work. And for every 100 men who are promoted to managerial positions, only 72 women are promoted as managers. So knowing that bias exists, it isn't enough. We really need to take action in order to level the playing field. And admittedly, we have made a lot of progress in the last several decades. So we really want to acknowledge that and acknowledge the many women who've contributed to the progress in the women's rights movement. But we also have to acknowledge that there's more to be done. Imagine what it would be like to be living in a gender equal world, a world, that does not have bias and stereotypes and discrimination, a world that is diverse and equitable and inclusive, a world where differences are not only valued, but they're actually celebrated. So 3 actions that you can take to help with this movement are to take a stand, to call out inequality when you see it and raise greater awareness, to support organizations that advance women's equality and rights, and to celebrate women's achievements and accomplishments, whether your own, someone else's, or a woman throughout history. The more that women stand in their power, own their strengths, and insist on equality, and the more that men stand with us in doing these things, the better this world is going to be, because collectively we can break the bias. So tonight, I wanted to come and talk to you about a special topic, about what it means to be an empowered woman. How do we free ourselves of bias? How do we stand in our power? So let's start by looking at a definition. What does empowerment even mean? So the dictionary definition is empowerment is the process of becoming stronger and more confident in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. And if you want an even simpler version of that, to me, empowerment just means being who you really are and doing what you truly want to do. So I asked the question on Facebook, both on my personal page and in our Empowered Single Women Facebook group, what does empowerment mean to you? And I got a lot of really interesting answers. I'd like to share a few of those right now. So Kathy said, making choices that are true to me, not worrying about what other people think about me, and loving myself. Sherry said, being strong, fearless, independent, resourceful, confident, and free. Paula said, to live and love your life to the fullest. Anne said, to have opportunities. Susan said, finding your passion in life is a truly empowering experience. Arlene said, to be so connected and solid in who I am that I consciously make the decision every day to live my best life from a place of love and light. Maureen said to love yourself enough to recognize your personal strength to conquer the difficulties that life throws at you, the ability to establish the necessary boundaries to allow you to be true to yourself and to your own power, and the wisdom to recognize that you can't make everyone happy all the time, especially if you're gaining strength and setting boundaries. Jennifer said to advocate for myself without apologizing for it. And Amber said to stand in your strength authentically and unapologetically in full acknowledgement of all that you are. So these are really great answers and important aspects of being empowered. And I really want to thank everybody who contributed for sharing your wisdom. I feel really passionate about the idea of empowerment because I witnessed growing up my mom self-sacrificing for the sake of her family, her husband, her kids, and giving up her power and identity and her own desires because that was really what was expected of her generation. So my mission is to help women to reclaim their power and fully embody their gifts and strengths and live a life that is of their choosing. So in working with many women over the course of the last 8 years, I've given this topic a lot of thought, and I'd like to share with you what I believe are the 10 main components of being empowered. So I'll share what the 10 are, and then I'll go into a little bit more detail about each of them. So they are boundaries, respect, authenticity, choices, self-care, self-love, self-esteem, self-actualization, support, and celebration. So let's look at each of these one at a time. So the first one is boundaries, setting healthy limits with others. You have a right to be sovereign over your own body, your own heart, your own mind, and to set limits, to say no, to say stop, to walk away if you need to. It's so important to listen to your own body's signals. And if something doesn't feel right to you, to speak up and stand up and protect that little girl inside you. The second one is respect. So requiring respect from others and fair treatment. It's really important not to tolerate disrespect, inequality, emotional or physical abuse. We really do teach people how to treat us through what we're willing to accept from them. So use your voice, stand in your power, and protect yourself. The third element of empowerment is authenticity, acting true to your own values. Self-sacrifice really isn't a good thing, even if we were taught that it was. It's abandoning yourself, which is really too high a price to pay. And it's really important to not do something that goes against your own values and beliefs. Your life is yours, so live it according to what feels right to you. The fourth element is choices, making healthy, conscious choices. The best choices are really made from a place of self-honesty, of courage, and of love. So don't make your choices in life out of a place of fear or pain or settling. Raise your standards to really go after what you want, what you truly want in life. And it might take time, it might take effort to accomplish what you want, but it's so much better than settling for what you don't want. The fifth component is self-care, looking after your mind, body, and spirit. So energy flow really needs to be two ways, right? It's important to balance work and helping others with refilling your own well, with recharging your own battery so that you can avoid burnout. So make a concerted effort to care for your body, mind, and spirit like you would a child's, a partner's, or a friend's. The sixth element is self-esteem, believing that you're capable and deserving. So instead of counting your flaws and mistakes, count your accomplishments. Look at the challenges you overcome and how resilient you are. Look at all the goals you've succeeded at. You're so powerful and capable, and the more you acknowledge that, the better you're going to feel about yourself. The seventh element is self-love. So not only being who you really are, but affirming who you really are on an everyday basis. You are beautiful. You are smart. You are courageous. You are divine perfection. You are limitless. So give to yourself the love and validation that oftentimes you might be looking for from other people. When you give it to yourself, nobody can take that away. Treat yourself with the compassion and love and kindness that you so deserve. The eighth component is self-actualization, so pursuing your dreams. So many people play small because they're avoiding pain and they think that it makes them feel safer and more secure. But security really comes from knowing that you can do whatever you set out to do, that you can succeed no matter what. This life is really precious. So set out to create a life that you truly want for yourself. Your success is inevitable as long as you take inspired action and you never give up. The ninth element is support, lifting each other up. Be the kind of woman who doesn't compare and compete, the kind of woman who lifts other women up. There is so much power in us standing together for a better world, and together we can accomplish so much more than we can on our own. The 10th aspect of empowerment is celebration, celebrating our uniqueness, both as individuals and as women collectively. There are many amazing things about who you are, so acknowledge them to yourself. And there are many amazing things about being a woman. And as I'm talking about this, I encourage you to share in chat. What do you most enjoy and value about being a woman? Or what do you most love about other women, if that makes it easier to identify? To me, there's a lot of great things about being a woman. We tend to be really great at communicating, at collaborating, at creating community. We have these gifts of intuition, we have the ability to make a house a home, to create life. I mean, being a woman can actually be almost like a superpower when we're standing in our power. So again, I welcome your ideas on what is great about being a woman. And I'm going to read a little article that I wrote on Women's Day in 2021. And it's about the gifts of being a woman. A woman is a magnificent creature and shares many gifts with the people around her without even realizing it. She's giving. She thinks of how others feel and often puts their needs before her own, wanting to make everyone smile. She's the first to offer support to those in need and the last to leave when someone is struggling. She is loving. You know she cares by the way she hugs you, by the way she calls to check in on you, by the way she makes your favorite meal or helps you when you're sick or lends an ear when you're down. She's fierce. She can't stand injustice, so she takes a stand and lends a voice to those who can't speak for themselves. And you don't want to mess with her loved ones because she'll unleash a can of whip ass on you no matter how small she might be in size. She is tender. She cries over sad movies and mourns the loss of any child or animal. Her heart breaks when her kids leave and when a loved one is gone too soon. And sometimes it all feels like too much. But she is also strong. No matter what life throws at her, she comes out fighting and never gives up. She juggles a million responsibilities like a pro and keeps showing up for the ones she loves, no matter how weary she is. A woman is truly a magnificent creature, and if you're blessed enough to know one, be sure to acknowledge her today. So that's what I'd like to share with you on this International Women's Day. And I would like to encourage you, if you're not already a member of our Empowered Single Women Facebook group, to join. You can just look it up on Facebook, and I can post the link below the recording as well. So thank you for joining me tonight, ladies. I'm really honored to be here speaking with you and to wish you an International Women's Day. May you stand in your power and help really make a difference in this world. Bye, everybody. Have a great day.